Yes, the abbreviated intro to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, because we got a lot to do today. 11th day of September 2024. I am Dan Kuntz. Happy Wednesday to you. It is overcast. We've already had some reports of some light rain in some locations a little after 3 this morning. It was raining lightly in the Wenatchee Valley. I know, I was awake. Yeah, there are some pockets of light rain out there in our viewing area. Other places not so much. It's 59 degrees, which is about normal for this time of the year, but our long streak of seeing temperatures above normal afternoon highs comes to an end today. It's going to feel a lot like autumn. Today it's going to be cooler than what we've had over the last 12 days. It's going to be a little wetter. We're going to see some sunshine, but not a lot of it. It's going to kind of hit and miss as this low pressure ridge comes sliding through our area. It's going to last most of the day today, overnight tonight. Some residual effects tomorrow. We start warming up and get pretty nice on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. In fact, the weekend looks very cool indeed as we become a mid-September kind of a weather pattern. And then most of next week looks pretty cool and unsettled. We'll talk about all the weather details here in just a couple of minutes. It was a busy day in the newsroom, and if you don't believe me, we'll prove it to you when we do the news. That follows the weather. Sports, the Mariners missed a golden opportunity yesterday. Of course, San Diego's good. The Padres are very good. They're going to make the playoffs. But Houston lost, and the Mariners, with the victory there, could have sidled up a little bit closer to the Astros, but they didn't. Padres got the better part of that. We'll have that in sports, plus your high school scores in prep girls soccer and volleyball from last night. Big event going on at Leibofter Field of the Apple Bowl tonight. We'll have Eric Anderson, the principal and the athletic director of Wenatchee High School, chime in on that. Austin Trade will be my guest in the back half of the program, the broadcasting voice of the Wenatchee Wild, as we're getting ready to ramp up the season. Their opening day, a regular season opener, is coming up September 21st against the Seattle Thunderbirds at the Town Toyota Center. Year 2 for the Wenatchee Wild in the Western Hockey League, and everything else that you need to do to start your Wednesday, and let's do it. Around the valley we go with their cameras. You will notice the clouds. We hit 84 yesterday. That is 12 consecutive days that our afternoon high was above normal. Our normal high is 79. We're going to go from 84 today to 74. 84 yesterday to 74 today. It is going to be fairly cool, and for the most part, the sun will be taking the day off from our Wenatchee Heights / cross camera, whatever you want to call it. There is a beautiful view of the valley proper, which just continues to grow, especially up Sunny Slope. I was born and raised here at Sunny Slope for the most part. The lower part was houses and orchards, and everything above that was just pretty much all orchards. Orchards are being ripped up, housing developments are going in, and they continue to climb up Birch Mountain. Camera number 2 on our tour around the area is up to Lake Wenatchee. Again we go. Boy, is it me or does the Cater Glen Golf Course look exceptionally green today? Could just be me, but you know, it does. It does look greener than normal, doesn't it? Good morning to our friends up at Lake Wenatchee. Of course, they're done with the salmon season. The salmon have worked their way up to the Little Wenatchee and the White River. They're laying their eggs and then going to salmon heaven, if in fact there is such a thing. Camera number 3. I'm assuming they're Arthur Good's camera. Wow, look at the billy goat view. That is really cool. We have that baby zoomed way out. You can see the entire Alta Lake Golf Course. By the way, that's a fun golf course to play. The Alta Lake one is. It's pretty challenging, and yet it's still fun as well, just what golfers want to see. Too bad you can't see Gamble Sands. It's in the upper right-hand corner. That's also a pretty cool golf course to play as well. Good morning to Pateros, Brewster, Bridgeport, Omak, Okanagan, Riverside, Tonasket, Orville, and Penticton, which you can't see from there, but it's still a pretty damn cool view. And finally, we wrap up our tour with, oh boy, I want to say Union Valley? Manson? I don't know. That is Union Valley. Okay, thank you, Josiah. Okay, there's the Union Valley camera. I haven't used that one for a while. It's about 4 miles up lake from the town of Chelan on the north shore of Lake Chelan, looking out over the south shore of Lake Chelan there. So the Union Valley camera. Haven't checked in with that for a while. That's cool. Of course, we used that camera during the fire that they had up, the Stamen fire of a few weeks ago. That was a very handy camera. In fact, I think you can see some of the burn scar there on the right-hand side of your screen. On Wednesdays, we always check in with the Climate Prediction Center, the folks who do the long-term forecasts, and they have told us that for most of next week, starting September 16th through the 20th, we're going to have about a 60 to 70% chance of seeing temperatures below normal, and there's your long-term temperature outlook. Again, this is from September 16th through the 20th. about a 60 to 70% chance of seeing our temperatures below normal, and they're pretty accurate. These guys are. So it looks like we're going to have cooler than normal temperatures for the week beginning September 16th. And as far as precipitation, looks like we're going to be wet. We're going to have an 80 to 90% chance of seeing seeing precipitation above normal. So temperatures below normal, precipitation above normal. You can see that green bullseye right over the Pacific Northwest. So it looks like for the 16th through the 20th of this month, it's going to be cooler and wetter than what we normally see, and we need the rain. We are in a drought. There's no getting around that. We are way behind where we should be with our annual precipitation. Hopefully we'll get that caught up next week. In the meantime, the next 7 days look something like this. After 84 yesterday, 74 today. We will see some sun breaks, but we're also going to see some light rain. There's some coming down as we speak. About a 50% chance of hit and miss light rain. It's not going to be a lot, but there's going to be some light rain, which is perfect because I just washed the car yesterday. 74 our high, our normal high is 79, so that long streak of above normal temperatures comes to an end. Chance of rain goes down to 20% tonight. It's going to clear out. It's going to be breezy tonight as the tail end of this marine layer pushes through. It's going to pick the winds up a little bit, 53 for the overnight low tonight. The big story tomorrow is going to be the wind. It's going to be fairly windy on Thursday. We're talking a northwest wind about 10 to 16 miles an hour. Gusts above 25 miles an hour on Thursday. It's still cooler than normal. High of 76, but lots of sunshine. Still windy Thursday night. 52 for the overnight low. Starting to get a little on the cool side for the overnight lows. And then we head into a very nice weekend as mid-September arrives Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Quite a bit of sunshine. Temperatures hovering right around normal. Upper 70s is just about normal for this time of the year. A little cooler on Sunday, and then as you already saw, as we get into next week, we're going to have a cooler and wetter than normal pattern for most of next week. It looks like autumn's finally going to show up. Took its sweet time, though, didn't it? It's 7 minutes after the hour. We're going to take a break and then do the news, and there's a lot of it. You're watching a Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
Riley Gaines, the All-American female swimmer at the University of Kentucky, is our guest speaker for the Chelan County Republican Lincoln Day Dinner and Fundraiser, September 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Wenatchee Convention Center. Riley's call to action is to defend and protect America's daughters from competing with and sharing locker rooms with biological men. Join us for an exciting evening with Riley Gaines and support our local candidates. VIP event at 5, dinner at 6. Go to Chelan County Lincoln Day at gmail.com for tickets.
Paid for by the Chelan County Republican Central Committee.
The family at the Eplodolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Eplodolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Eplodolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Eplodolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Each year, Springwater Insurance has been teaching those of you on Medicare how will your health and drug plans change for the next year. Now, we can't give you specifics till October 1st, but what I can tell you is your Part D prescription expense will be capped at $2,000 for the year. Now, on October 1st, your current insurance plan will send you a letter explaining these changes. Springwater Insurance will help you find out what your most cost-effective choice for your Medicare health and drug plan for next year. So give us a call for a free consultation.
Pretty cloudy, some pockets of light rain out there, 59 degrees, and that's pretty much the forecast. Some intermittent light rain with some sun breaks, but high of only 74. We're done with the heat wave. It's just about 10 minutes after the hour. The Chelan County Regional Justice Center says 2 people were arrested and 3 inmates charged after trying to smuggle drugs into the facility using a hole in a window frame and a length of string. Jail Director Chris Sharp says the arrests happened last month after the inmates coordinated with people outside the jail to lower a string through the gap around the 4th floor window and then reel in a supply of drugs that their accomplices would tie to it. Didn't work. Sharp told Chelan County commissioners the plan was foiled because the inmates' phone calls were intercepted.
There's an old laundry room in our cell for Frank that's been locked up. They broke it. They got in there and they dug out through the window, but we got them. We coordinated with Wenatchee PD. They had a fishing line down the side of the net, and both were arrested here on the sidewalk. And the 3 people that were in the window that they broke into were all charged with trying to get facility. So this was all done by Deputy Lewis and the K-9 program, and that's just a huge success.
A Marine from Manson who's based at Camp Pendleton has not been heard from in more than 2 weeks. The military says he's not considered missing, but deserted. 23-year-old Lance Corporal Cameron Bailey enlisted in the Marine Corps in 2019. He was due to leave the service this week, but Bailey dropped out of sight on August 25th after visiting a bar in Carlsbad, California. He was at first classified as missing, but the Marine Corps says Bailey has since been seen on and near Camp Pendleton, and he hasn't returned to official duty. On Monday night, surveillance video spotted him at a restaurant on the base. Bailey's family said they've had no contact with him and that he may be in distress. A donor is offering $15,000 reward for information leading to his safe return. Aging heating and cooling systems inside Wenatchee schools are creating some issues at the start of the school year. The recent hot weather has caused the HVAC system to fail inside several Wenatchee School District buildings. The air conditioning went out in early July at Orchard Middle School, and that put the students there on a half-day schedule to start the school year until the district was able to install temporary air conditioning units inside each classroom. They did that last week. The district is waiting on parts to arrive to fix the system. And School District Communications Director Diana Hagelin said in addition to the cost of repair, the installation of emergency cooling units will be between $15,000 and $30,000. Other cooling issues have occurred at Mission View and John Newberry Elementary Schools, the Valley Academy of Learning, and at Wenatchee High School. The Chelan-Douglas Regional Port Authority has shared an update on the construction of the Trades District. That's the renovation of 12 existing structures into incubator spaces for budding businesses. Crews began working on the 8-acre property, which is located right next to Pangborn Memorial Airport. It's in the business park. They started working on that earlier this year. Yesterday morning, the port's construction manager, Nick Rohrbach, gave an update on the project's construction. Rohrbach says crews are currently finishing up the foundation work, and they'll soon begin the constructions of the walls. Construction is scheduled for completion in the spring of next year. In other news, the port has also unveiled 8 executive hangar pads along the west side of the airport. They're now available for development. If you're interested, you can contact the port to inquire about the sites. Chelan County has received a troubling financial assessment from the Washington State Auditor's Office. The auditor found errors in Chelan County's disclosures of investments and cash on hand for the year 2022. That year, the county was forced to correct its financial statements after failing to report $24 million in its investment funds and about $950,000 in the county roads fund. Chelan County Auditor Skip Moore, whose office prepares the year-end financial reports, told the state there will be increased scrutiny for balance sheets provided by individual county departments. And today is the 23rd anniversary since the tragic events of September 11th, 2001. In honor of those who lost their lives that day, all are welcome to gather at the Spirit of America Memorial in Kashmir. The remembrance ceremony will begin at 11 o'clock this morning. Part of the event will include a naturalization ceremony that will celebrate 30 people becoming United States citizens. We visited with the man in charge of this year's commemorations, Doug Jones, and the Director of Hand-to-Hand Immigration Services, Norman Gallegos, to talk about today's events. Taking over the chairmanship of everything that's going to be happening here on Wednesday, that was kind of an easy thing for you, right?
Yeah, definitely. I've been on the board for probably 8-10 years, and Tom Green had taken the board from when this whole thing started, so it took a couple years ago. I took it from him, and he's still on the board, still a very active member, and we work very closely together. It's a great board.
Every state is getting a Spirit, or either has one or is in the process of getting a Spirit of America memorial. There'll be 50 of them in 50 states. The Washington State one is right here in Kashmir, and this is maybe the best one from an aesthetic standpoint, from an emotional standpoint. You can't stand on this campus right here where we're at.
Oh no,
and
no.
not
Right.
feel it.
Right. Yeah. No, the elements that we have here, the Twin Towers over here, are always people love to see that and put their hand on those and really remember. I think one of our missions for our committee is to really educate, and a lot of people, as we're finding, are attending our ceremonies or are coming here who don't have a memory like you and I have. So to have all these elements and to really have people come and look and understand what happened that day through experiencing these elements is really important to us.
On 11 o'clock on Wednesday morning is when the ceremony will begin. I'll call it a ceremony. I'm trying to think if there's any other way to put it. There really isn't. Doug, can you give us a brief run through of what exactly the program is going to be?
Sure. Every year we have the Seattle Pipes and Drums come, so they'll open it up. They have amazing to see them come in, a very solemn and very respectful opening to the ceremony. Civil Air Patrol is going to be coming and doing our presentation of colors. Then we have our guest speaker this year is Hank Kramer. You haven't heard of him. He's I would say a renowned folk singer that lives right up in Winthrop. And so he is also someone that I met in my reserve career several years ago. His story is that he was in the active Army and he retired or left the Army, and then when 9/11 happened, he came back in as a reservist and wanted to serve his country more after 9/11. So he's definitely got a tie there, but tremendous man, got a lot of experience, and he's going to be our guest speaker. And after he speaks, he's going to share some special music. He's also going to sing our national anthem. So just a very talented and a very good speaker and a very patriotic man that's going to present for us this year.
Norma Gallegos is a really good, cool, wonderful human being whose heart is so big. I don't know even how it stays inside her body. And for the last number of years, Norma has been running the Hand to Hand Immigration Services Group. It's a nonprofit that helps people who want to become American citizens become an American citizen. And Norma will be the first one to tell you it ain't easy.
Yes, Hand in Hand Immigration Services, as you mentioned, is a nonprofit organization accredited by the Department of Justice to facilitate the immigration work, which could be very complicated for many.
Talk about Wednesday here at the Spirit of America Memorial. You're going to be swearing in some new American citizens. Talk about what you have planned for Wednesday.
Where our USCIS field office in Yakima has elected 30 people that will be here, and the director will be doing that here live. Most of the majority of the folks are between the age of 18 to the age of 90. So there's people from different areas, different countries. One of the reasons that we want to do it publicly so people can also honor this day that was tragically something that we should never, ever forget. And that is part of the test. One of the questions, I believe is question number 86, is what major tragedy occurred on September 11, 2001. And there's many questions that a lot of us take for granted. So you'll see people with different faces, different backgrounds, different stories, but they all have gone through the screening 8th step to be here and do that in front of, and that's the last thing they do. And right away, we encourage them to also vote, give them that voice and that opportunity. So there'll be many emotional moments, different colors, different countries, different people with a different story.
Again, the ceremonies begin at 11 o'clock this morning at the memorial in Kashmir at Riverside Park. The naturalization ceremony will occur before the formal ceremony, which begins again at 11, and that's the news on this Wednesday. The news will come your way tonight on television at 5, 6, and 10. The NCW Life Evening News. We think it's important that you know what's going on around the Wenatchee Valley and North Central Washington. That's why we do the news. At 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, if it doesn't fit into your schedule, go online and you're good to go. Our news will be posted on our website, ncwlife.com, on our Facebook page, our YouTube page. We're out there. Just go find us. We make it as easy as possible. And if something out there you think might be a news story, get a hold of us. Best way to do it, send us an email, news@ncwlife.com. Mariners had a great chance to gain a little ground in both the wild card and the division. They didn't do either. Sports is next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Want to stay up to date on the latest news in the area? Tired of paying for your news? Download the NCW Life app now. No subscriptions necessary. Get news, weather, sports, and more live as it happens. Available for iPhone and Android in the App Store. Local news at your fingertips. Don't miss the stories that matter to you. Stay connected. Download the NCW Life app now.
When you buy tires at Les Schwab, you're getting more than just tires. You're getting America's best tire warranty, 60-day satisfaction guarantee, no hassle road hazard protection, and free maintenance for the life of your tires. So if something happens to your tire on the road, we'll fix it, or we'll replace it, no questions asked. Other places make you pay extra for that kind of protection, but at Les Schwab, it's included with every set of tires, because more warranty means less worry, and nobody stands by their tires like Les Schwab. Get more from Les.
Campfire North Central Washington, serving youth ages 3 to 18. Register today in one of Campfire's programs. Club members meet regularly with volunteer leaders to learn responsibility, sharing, cooperation, and citizenship. When a child is involved in Campfire, they will be actively learning and engaged in activities, encouraged to learn new skills, feel a part of the group, learn to work in a team setting, participate in planning, goal setting, and making lasting memories.
Welcome to the Columbia Basin Dispute Resolution Center. We are a local nonprofit serving Grant and Adams counties, helping businesses and people resolve difficult issues so they can move toward a better future. We offer help with workplace disputes, residential issues, family matters, and can train your staff in conflict prevention and resolution skills. Call us at 509-237-8401 to learn more.
22 minutes after the hour, Manny Machado became the San Diego Padres' all-time leader in home runs. Fortunately, he did it against the Mariners. Fernando Tatis added a 3-run drive. The Padres slugged past the Mariners 7-3 at T-Mobile Park last night. Cal Raleigh and Luke Raley, they hit solo home runs for the M's, who remain 4.5 games back of the Astros.
High fly ball, deep right field. That baby's getting out of here. Home run for Cal Raleigh, his 30th of the season, the 12th catcher in big league history with multiple 30-plus home run seasons. And that's home run number 89 as a Mariner. Breaks a tie with Dan Wilson for second place on the Mariners all-time list. Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. Say goodbye. Home run. Big Thunder. Luke Raleigh. 2-0 Mariners. Oh, my goodness, did he light that thing up.
And that was a really similar breaking ball to what we saw from Cal Raleigh. Cal was a 2-1 count. Talked about Hugh Darvish not really coming back into the strike zone. He's done it twice.
Fly ball, right field, struck pretty well. Robles looking up. Fernando's left the yard. 3-run home run for Tatis Jr. Padres with one swing of the bat take a 3-2 lead. Opposite field home run for Fernando. What a welcome sight that is. Fernando's 15th of the year.
Strike thrower, first pitch offering, wants it up and in. And this one is a big-time miss.
Machado hits one to right center field. Back goes Rodriguez looking up. Manny Machado stands alone as the Padres' all-time home run leader. Man, oh Manny, you are #1 in Padres history. Think there's a lot of Padres fans here. A Manny chant just started. 429 feet and history tonight in Seattle.
Two to J.P. Crawford. A lot of green out there. The other way, base hit, left field. Turner's gonna score. Holding at second is Polanco. J.P. Crawford with an RBI at 7-3 San Diego. J.P.'s 34th RBI.
Before the game, by the way, the Mariners placed Luis Castillo on the 15-day injured list. He strained his hamstring during Sunday's game against the Cardinals. The Mariners and the Padres play again tonight, 6:40 to wrap up their quick 2-game series before the Rangers come to town tomorrow. To the scoreboard we go, as there's the Padres beating the Mariners 7-3. It took 12 innings, but the Athletics knocked off the Astros 4-3, so the Mariners did not gain any ground. They're still 4.5 back of the division, and they are 4 back in the wild card race. The Twins continue to roll. They're playing very good baseball. They beat the Angels, doubled them up. As a matter of fact, 10-5. The Diamondbacks shut out the Rangers 6-0. To the prep soccer scoreboard we go. Wenatchee shut out East Valley at the Apple Bowl 2-0. Eastmont, no problems with Ephrata in East Wenatchee. The final there was 4-0. Moses Lake got by Othello on the pitch 2-1. West Valley and Ellensburg played to a 5-5 tie. It was a non-league game, and when they play a non-league soccer game, they usually don't play overtime. There's no real need for it because it doesn't really count. Davis beat LaSalle, and Prosser got by Sunnyside in soccer. Some more soccer scores. Cashmere crushed Wahluke 6-0. Cascade doubled up on Omak 6-3. Deer Park got by Quincy. It was Reardon over Okanagan. Pateras snuck by Liberty Bell, and Tenascan and Brewster again a 1-1 tie. Lots of sweeps in prep volleyball across the board except Eastmont. Eastmont and Ephrata, they went all the way to their 5th and final set, but the Wildcats beat the Tigers. The final was 3-2. The rest were all shutouts. Moses Lake over Othello, Ellensburg over West Valley, Cashmere over Wahluke, Omak over Quincy, and Cascade over Thorpe. And in more scores, defending state champion Manson all over Okanagan. Andy had knocked out Bridgeport. Tenasket swept by Brewster. Liberty Bell swept by Pateras. Lake Roosevelt all over Wilson Creek. Wenatchee High School is doing something they've never done before. It's called the Wenatchee Youth Sports Spectacular, and it's going to be tonight at Lee Bofta Field at the Apple Bowl. Wenatchee High School Principal and Athletic Director Eric Anderson says it's an effort to show Wenatchee School District youngsters that there are sports out there that they can play if they want.
Tomorrow evening, we are holding our first, we call it Wenatchee High School Youth Sports Spectacular, but really, from the high school perspective, we're just kind of leading this work to kind of bring everybody together. And the purpose of tomorrow night is really to connect the youth in our valley to the organizations that provide youth athletics and activities. What we saw, obviously, over the pandemic was kind of a reduction in the number of our youth in being involved in things. And last spring, we started talking about what can we do as a system, as a school system, to really kind of jumpstart that back up and move in a different direction. And so we came up with this idea of bringing together our youth organizations and giving them an opportunity to kind of meet and greet kids and families, and hopefully our students, our elementary and middle school students, find a connection to something in our valley that they can get involved in and participate in. And as we know, when students are involved in something, their attendance is better, their confidence is higher, their academic performance is greater. And so we want to see a growth in those numbers in terms of our students involved in these things. So that's really kind of the purpose of tomorrow night, is really to bring everybody out. And again, we've got about 30 organizations that have signed up to be part of that, and they're going to be right here on the Apple Bowl field. And again, we've got interpreters that are going to be here as well. We want to make sure that we don't have a language barrier that stops our families and our students from connecting to these organizations. And then any of the money that we raise, so there is a small cost to the organizations to participate in that. And all that money that we bring in, we are actually donating to the Wenatchee Valley Sports Foundation to offset any sort of barriers, financial barriers that our youth athletes might have in participating in these organizations. So we're pretty excited about it.
The Wenatchee Panther Booster Club will be there, so you can pick up your Panther swag. The concession stands will be open, so you can grab a bite to eat. Anderson paints the picture of what kids and families will find out when they come to the Apple Bowl tonight.
There's no time frame. There is no schedule. We're going to have basically our organizations will have tables and tents set up here on the Apple Bowl. Our high school athletic teams are going to be connected to them because, again, one of the things that we would love to see is a connection between our youth athletics and our high school athletics. And again, kind of inspiring our youth to be excited about being a Panther, a future Panther athlete. So here, really, this is just going to be, the field's going to be full of organizations that are going to have tables, tents, information. We're going to have our band playing up in the stadium. We've actually got CVCH's mobile health truck that's going to be here to help offer youth physicals if families want to participate in that. So again, it's just going to be a live, festive environment where we're going to have 2 hours of just kind of an open meet and greet and get connected, and we'll go from there. It's the first time we're trying this, so we'll learn from it, and we'll continue to get better as we go forward.
And of course, the big question, Eric Anderson, how much does it cost?
Free admission, there's no cost for anybody. I mean, again, the hope is that we've got, I would love to see every one of our elementary, middle school kids with their families out here trying to figure out what it is that I can be involved in. What can I be connected to? We'd love to see that. We'd love to see big numbers around that participation.
I like free. Free is a good price. Again, it's 6 to 8 o'clock tonight. Leave off the field at the Apple Bowl. Enjoy. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. At the bottom of the hour, it is September 11th. Of course, it is Patriot Day, but the obscure holiday is National Make Your Bed Day. Today, when my brother gave a speech at the commencement exercises last spring, he talked about making your bed because it's, you know, starting your day, getting out of bed and then making it starts a chain reaction. It results in you making better decisions throughout the course of the day. Also makes you, gets a little momentum going too. It also lowers stress. An unmade bed can send a subconscious message to a person's brain, and then you become anxious. It also improves sleep hygiene. When it's time to go to bed and you go into the bedroom and the bed is made, it tells your body that it's time to go to sleep. I make my bed every morning. I mean, come on, it takes what, about 25 seconds? It's not that hard. National Make Your Bed Day today. Although I must say it gets a little harder in the wintertime when you have a couple extra blankets that you didn't have in the summertime. It's 31 minutes after the hour today in history. Like a lot of explorers, Henry Hudson found what he wasn't looking for. September 11th, 1609, Henry Hudson and his crew were looking for the Northwest Passage. Henry Hudson was English, but he was working for the Dutch. The Dutch sent him over and said, we think there might be a passage, a water passage through North America to the Far East. And so he went looking for it, didn't find it. He was sailing back down the Atlantic coast, and he said, hey, what if we turn west? What's over here? So he was looking for the Western Passage through North America. Instead, he found a very large, very deep, very sheltered natural harbor, which would, of course, become New York City, which, by the way, the Dutch was very happy when he got back and said, well, I didn't find a Northwest Passage, but you might be interested in this piece of property, which they took, basically discovering Manhattan Island 415 years ago today. And now look at Manhattan. 83 years ago today, in Des Moines, Iowa, Charles Lindbergh was an American hero on September 11th, 1941. On September 12th, he wasn't anymore. Charles Lindbergh gave a speech accusing basically Winston Churchill, the British, Jews, and Franklin Delano Roosevelt of pressing for war with Germany. It did not go over particularly well, especially with FDR. After he read the text of the speech the next day, he told his aide, Steve Early, he said, Steve, if I die today, I want you and the world to know that I am convinced that Charles Lindbergh is a Nazi. Charles Lindbergh says, we shouldn't go to war, and if we do, we should side with the Germans. Well, we didn't, and we did. September 11th, 1941, and finally, we all know what happened 23 years ago today. 19 members of Al-Qaeda hijacked 4 airplanes. 2 of them crashed into the World Trade Center in Manhattan. They were eventually destroyed. 1 crashes into the Pentagon in Virginia, and United Airlines Flight 93 crashes in a field near Shanksville, Pennsylvania. The final death toll, 2,996 people. I've read the entire 9/11 Commission report, and it's the one fact that jumps out at me about this entire dreadful day and that dreadful week, which I will never ever forget, and if you were old enough to remember, you won't either. The other 3 planes, the 3 planes that successfully hit their targets, the muscle hijackers took to the cockpits as soon, within seconds, within 5 or 10 seconds after the pilots turned off the seatbelt light and they were free to move about the cabin. The muscle hijackers did what they did. But the muscle hijackers on United Airlines Flight 93 waited over 40 minutes. They waited 46 minutes after the seatbelt light was turned off before they took the cockpit. If they had done what the other 3 had done and stormed the cockpit immediately when they could, United Airlines Flight 93 almost certainly would have hit its target, the Capitol, 23 years ago today. 2 coaching legends celebrate heavenly birthdays today. Paul William Bear Bryant, born on this date 109 years ago today, 111 years ago today. He won 13 conference championships and 6 national championships with the University of Alabama from 1958 to 1962, won his final game as a coach, and died a couple of weeks later. Paul Bryant, born in this state in 1913, and the legendary Tom Landry. 29 seasons as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. At one point, Tom Landry's Dallas Cowboys went to 12 NFC championship games in 17 years. No coach has ever done that. A remarkable achievement. Tom Landry, born in this state 100 years ago today. Special thanks to our platinum sponsor. That would be Alpine Air. For heat and air, call Alpine Air. Your heating, your HVAC system is going to go from air conditioning to heating real quick like. It could put a stress on it. If you're not too sure if it can handle it, give Alpine Air a call. They're the pros for heat and air. Call Alpine Air. Mike McNarty has an opinion about the cross that we see at the very edge of Wenatchee Heights. A brand new opinion from Mike Mad Dog McNarty is coming up, and then it's time to talk hockey. We always love to talk hockey with Austin Drade. Hey, don't look now. The Wenatchee Wild's regular season is right around the corner. It's 10 days away. Austin Drade, my guest when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
I'm Jen Mueller. Watch for my show, I Cook, You Measure on NCW Life. It's part cooking instruction, part entertainment, and all about connecting over food and wine with your favorite Northwest athletes.
Watch I Cook, You Measure with Jen Mueller Mondays at 1, Wednesdays at 2, Fridays at 11 a.m., and Saturday and Sundays at 10:30 p.m. right here on the NCW Life channel.
Hey there, folks. Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to experience Blueberry Hills. Of course, the food is fabulous, like our cheese splints, our famous French dip, our legendary Eggs Benedict, and unforgettable burgers. But we're more than just great food. People come from all over the world to experience what's been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to.
A ductless unit from Carrier can keep anyone comfortable. Take Shelly, for instance. She finds me time in her new attic-turned-home gym. And with her Carrier ductless unit, the temperature is always perfect. No matter how intense her workout gets. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Building. It's in our blood. Building something out of nothing. It takes heart, grit, and hard work. At One Way Construction, our crew is our family. With decades of contracting experience and our in-house design team, we bring a unique perspective to building. We know that if we work together, we are capable of reaching heights that are impossible to reach alone. The possibilities are endless.
This is Mike Mad Dog McNarty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, that lighted cross that overlooks Wenatchee in the south, you know, I kind of like it. I actually do. Though I do think if Jesus came back, he'd see that and go, my gosh, that's the last thing I wanted to see. You know, but this recent controversy with the cross supporters saying that they want these crosses to proclaim their faith in response to being persecuted is absolutely ridiculous. If Christians in this country are being subjected to any criticism, it's mainly because of our own self-righteous behavior. And I don't think the answer is to shove our faith in other people's faces, claiming that we're only standing up for our rights. Well, Jesus called us to be peacemakers. And when the Apostle Paul told us to live in peace with everybody, I don't think he meant to force our belief on others, which honestly is exactly what this cross is doing. So whether I like it or not really isn't the point, is it? This is Mike Mad Dog McNarty, and that's my opinion.
What once was old now is new to the NCW Life channel. Tune in for Bonanza, Superman, The Andy Griffith Show, The Beverly Hillbillies, The Invisible Man, The Lone Ranger, and The Lucy Show. Check your program guide for classic programming on NCW Life channel, your local TV station.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
If your chair is comfortable and still fits, don't toss it. Reupholster it at Wenatchee Upholstery. The sky is the limit. From new upholstery in your favorite car to upgrading your seats in the boats. Everything old can be new again when you call Joe. Personalize your golf cart, grandma's chair, your favorite bar stool. Trust your treasure with Wenatchee Upholstery.
Thank you for trusting Abby's Legendary Pizza for 60 years. Your hard-earned money supports hundreds of youth working at our parlors, dozens and dozens of nonprofits and school teams throughout the area. At Abby's, doing good in the neighborhood has never tasted so delicious. Can you smell it? It's not arugula and pear. It's bacon, and cheddar. Yep. Everybody's favorite pizza is back on sale this month at Abby's, loaded with 2 kinds of bacon and real cheddar cheese. Enjoy Abby's September special at a very special price.
Welcome back to the program. The ice is down, been down really for a couple of weeks, but the last time we were here to talk to Austin Drade, the ice was down, but it was covered up with that interlocking rubberized stuff that they do when they have other events here at the Town Toyota Center. The ice is down, it looks pristine, and we are ready for year 2 of the Wenatchee Wild in the Western Hockey League. Austin Drade, back again. How are you, my friend?
Good, how are you?
Good. We visited, about a month ago, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, once the schedule was laid out, the promotion schedule, we had Clarkie on to talk about billet families, but you guys have now ramped up full bore Wenatchee Wild all the way. The training wheels are off and it's time to get busy.
Yeah, training wheels are still kind of coming off. Preseason's still going on, so we're still getting all the routines back, especially your broadcaster. But no, it is full bore hockey mode now as we get ready for the start of the regular season next week.
Camp began the very last week in August. I want to say the 25th or something like that.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend started camp, brought in more than 60 guys. I think it was 64, 65 guys. We've cut it down past Labor Day to about 32, 33 around the start of the regular season. We'll have it down to about 25, maybe a couple more as guys start settling in from anybody headed out to NHL rookie camps, that sort of thing. And before you know it, we'll have our final group in, and we'll be playing for keeps.
So you really haven't had a chance to see the team too much, maybe working out a little bit in the rink next to the Town Toyota Center. So you're not quite up to speed with what General Manager Bliss Littler and our new coach, Coach Don, has been doing, getting this team. Every coach has their own way of doing things and instituting their style. But the new coach, he's under some pressure because he's got to follow the tradition of winning hockey here.
Well, and I think the group that we've got in place is a group that's built to do that. A lot of returners, probably a few of the top end guys. We talk about Graham Sword, Carter Prasovsky, Briley Wood. Those are 3 of the top offensive guys from last year. They may be gone, but there's a lot of good talent back that's improved over the course of the summer. Right now, we're seeing how much the guys have improved from our last game on April 7th to that first game on Saturday, September 7th. And we're seeing a lot of improvement from some guys that we were hoping to see step in and take over those roles this year.
A few days ago, they took on the Americans, the Tri-City Americans, here for Kids Day at the Town Toyota Center. Good crowd. Nearly 2,000 showed up. And I looked at the box score, and I recognized pretty much every name but one. So that was a game when we beat the Tri-Cities here that, was it 7-2, 7-3?
6-2, yeah.
6-2. A lot of veterans saw action that game.
A lot of veterans. Evan Friesen saw action. If you saw the box score, you probably saw Kenta Iso guy went crazy with 6 points. Daniel Hauser played the game, went the distance and net. So, yeah, a lot of returning guys got a chance to step on the ice here in front of the home fans. Got some new guys on the ice as well, but a lot of the talent on the ice was returning talent, showing their wares for the folks here at home on Saturday.
The games didn't count, but for the players they do count because they want they want the front office staff and the people who make personnel decisions to get to notice them. So the games may not count, but they're skating like it does, aren't they?
A lot of these guys are playing for positions on the team right now. Well, we've got some 15-year-olds, obviously, that won't stick around and are in the process of headed home to their AAA teams or prep school teams right now. We'll see them, I think, for a maximum of 10 games this year before their home seasons wrap up. But yeah, a lot of the guys, the 2007 guys, 2008 guys, the younger guys on the team especially, they're playing for one of those last spots on the roster every night. So and nothing's guaranteed for these guys either. So even the older guys, they're playing for a spot on the roster. They're playing for a position once they get that spot on the roster. See if they can get into one of those top lines or settle into a midline spot. So it's everybody's got something to play for right now. Everybody's got something that they want to make sure Bliss and Don and the coaching staff sees and notices before they settle in for where they're going this year. Hopefully for them, it's right here.
When the Wild head down to the Tri-Cities this weekend, they got games in Kennewick. It's kind of like, I guess, a jamboree might be the best way to put it. Is that what you want to?
It's a jamboree or a showcase is probably a real good way of putting it. So everything is over at the practice rink, which is the Toyota Arena next to the big arena. I think Tim Allen is playing a stand-up show on Friday night over in the big arena I saw. But no, everything will be over in the practice rink. I think all 6 teams from the U.S. division are going to be down there playing at least one game. So it's a good chance to see a lot of the U.S. division and maybe get some scouting in. See probably some NHL scouts out there getting their first look at these guys before the season really gets going.
And a lot of the guys, almost everybody who has a shot at making the active roster once it's set, they're going to see a lot of ice time because of the way this thing is set up.
Yeah, we'll have 3 games down there. We'll play every single day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, against a different opponent. So there are a lot of chances for a lot of guys to get some really important ice time with those games coming up this weekend.
What is the timeline between now and the 21st of September? That's opening day here at the Town Toyota Center when they take on the Seattle Thunderbirds. What's the timeline, both league mandated and what you do in-house, to say our roster will be at this point on this date and at this point on this date and at this point on this date? How does that whole scenario work?
I believe by opening day we'll have to have an active roster of 25 guys. And again, a lot of it comes down to, for a lot of teams, depending on how our guys do at their NHL rookie camps, we'll have a few guys going for those. But rosters are still in flux until about October 10th, because that's the deadline for 20-year-olds. The roster limit is 3 per team. Right now, teams can play up to 3 at a time, but they can have more than 3 on the roster. A lot of guys are coming back from NHL camps, from pro preseason camps, so their spots are not gone on the roster. But by October 10th, the NHL rosters are getting set, their regular season's getting ready to start, and everybody kind of knows where everybody's going to be. So at that point, the rosters themselves have to be down to 3 20-year-olds.
So there's a logic to it.
Exactly. There's a rhyme and a reason to the and a method to the madness with the deadlines. But we'll have 25 guys on the roster, I believe, by opening day. And as guys start to come back from pro camps, you'll start to see on a lot of teams some of those 24th and 25th guys moving on as players come back. But by about October 10th, you really get a sense of what the rosters are going to look like up until the full roster freeze in a few months after that.
Yeah, unlike the Wenatchee Apple Sox, of course, has tremendous amount of roster turnover in the early part as the baseball players are wrapping up their collegiate season before, then they take a week off before they come up. Similar to a certain extent for the Wenatchee Wild, there is some there's a lot of moving and shaking in the roster, but the fans want to hook on to the player they're going to hook on to, and they're going to have a chance to do that pretty early. Because some of these guys, they're going to be back. Unless they break a leg, Kenta Isagai is going to make the roster and a few others as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, the early season movement, it just looks a little different between basketball and hockey, with baseball and hockey. With baseball, their guys are coming back from college seasons, and they're playing for extra reps during the summertime, where our guys are coming back from NHL and pro preseason camps, and when they come back, this is where they are. This is what they're doing for the next 6-7 months. But in a way, that movement does look very similar to the Apple Sox or anywhere in the West Coast League, because guys have commitments. Guys are working on moving up or finishing goals, accomplishing dreams where they're at, and as they come back, they take on those roster spots, and some of the other guys head on to their final destinations for the year.
Have you had a chance to do any kind of watching the team? I know you're kind of stuck in the upstairs office doing your marketing and your media relations and doing all the stuff that you need to do, which is a full-time job. Do you have a chance to go down and see the guys skate at all very much, or just to get a taste of it again? Or
a little bit. I'll get more of a chance to do it during the season, but right now a lot of the ramp-up is going on behind the scenes. But no, it's a group that's got a good compete level to them. They've got a good hustle to them. I think they're picking up pretty well the new terminology, the new systems, the new structures that Don and DJ and our coaching staff have in place for them, or want to get set in for this year. So I think the guys are doing a good job of picking things up early on. Obviously, we played 2 out of 73 games if you include the preseason, and hopefully more than that in April and into May. So there's a lot of learning and a lot of adjusting left to do, but I think the guys are keeping up a good pace to that extent right now.
Schedule's been out for quite some time. The promotion schedule is now pretty much locked and loaded. There are, I think, 2, maybe even 3, but 2 that jumped out at me, Austin, that are significant, lengthy homestands. I know there's one in November, and I think one a little bit later on, where we're going to be in this arena playing 5, 6, 7 games in a row over the course of a couple of weeks. And people need to keep an eye on that, because that's when you can really get a chance to see the boys.
There are, and actually we're starting the year with a pretty good homestand. 5 of the first 6, I believe, are in this building.
It's kind of the opposite of what we had last year, right?
Yeah.
Didn't we spend a great deal of September and October on the road last year? I'm trying to remember.
There was the opening weekend against Portland and Seattle, and then the 3 weeks of Oktoberfest here in the arena before we were able to really get settled back in. But this year we'll start right away with some good home time, and then in November we'll have 6-7 games in a row at home. We'll see some new teams in that time, with teams coming in from Alberta that we saw on the road last year. So there are a couple of really good homestands early on, and a lot of chances early in the season to get out and see some good hockey and get to know this group as they get settled into town too.
Talk about the ticket packages. Obviously, the only way to go is season tickets. I mean, they're yours and they're really good seats, but there are all kinds of different mix and match and pick and don't pick kind of packages that you can get to watch the games.
Yeah, and right now all of them are still available. There are a couple that'll go off the board on the 21st when our first game against Seattle comes up, but we've got ticket packages for all of our Sunday games. We'll play 8 games at home on Sunday, and with that earlier start time last year, we got a great response on that. So we're expecting big crowds for those. We've got a ticket package for 6 Saturday games, and they'll be probably 6 of our biggest crowds of the season. So those will be the hottest tickets to get. Might want to get the Saturday package and make sure you get those seats locked in early so you don't get locked out of the arena when that time comes. We've got ticket packages to see one particular team. If you want to see all the games against Spokane, you want to see all the games against Tri-City, we've got ticket packages for that. And we've got the ticket package to see all 34 home games this season, and we really want to get fans in the building for that. We've got our launch party for our season ticket holders coming up on Thursday night as well. So a lot of great perks that go with season tickets. If you get all 34 home games, we'll have your tickets for you on Thursday night at the launch party. So a lot of chances to see a lot of games here on a schedule that works for you, in a manner that works for you. So we've got some options. We'd like to get you in some seats.
I asked you this last year. We'll close out with this, because we didn't know last year. I mean, we were new to the league. There was a lot of moving parts. All of a sudden, in July, we have a WHL team, and we got everything was accelerated. Now we can catch our breath. Now we're in for a year. I'm going to ask you. I asked you this last year. Nobody really knew. Who's our rival going to be? Is it going to be? I mean, it's in hockey. You have a rival. You have a team that you maybe want to beat a little bit more than all the other teams. Is it going to be Seattle? Is it Everett? Is it the Silvertips? Is it Spokane? Is it the Americans? Who's it going to be?
I think we're going to have a lot of good rivals in the U.S. division this year. I don't know that anybody really jumped out as the team that set themselves apart last year. Everett is a group that's right over Stevens Pass. They always have a good team. They always travel well, and they're a tough group to play on the road. So I think they'll be near the top of the list. Tri-City, obviously, they'll be looking to get back into the playoffs this year after a year on the outside looking in. They've always got a good crowd. The games against Spokane last year, their fans traveled well here. Our fans traveled real well over there. And a lot of those games were really, really close. A couple of big comeback wins for our guys in those games, especially early on in the matchup. So I think those teams might be the big three. Seattle always, I think, is going to be a good rivalry, but somehow I think those top three teams with Spokane, Everett, and Tri-City, I think they're the ones that are going to set themselves above this year. Who's going to be the one that sets the team above the rest? I'm not quite sure yet, but I think that's where your pickings are going to come from.
If chippiness is any indication, I'm thinking Tri-Cities, but what do I know? I'm there to watch hockey, not a fight. If I wanted to watch a fight, I just go to the front office of the Wenatchee Wild and watch them go at it. Austin, it's good to see you, my friend. Again, September 21st is the opening right here at the Town Toyota Center with the Seattle Thunderbirds in town. Everything we talked about, WenatcheeWild.com, WenatcheeWild.com. And we will start making this our usual Wednesday visit as soon as we can dot all of our T's and cross our I's.
Yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Austin Drade, everybody. Give it up. And we'll be right back.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Hello, 3 tickets, please.
Oh, the Discovery Center is free to visit.
So you're telling me we could look at the fish for free?
Yep, that's free.
But how much is it to drive the steamboat?
Todo es gratis.
So you're telling me that we could go play on the playground?
Still free.
It's free.
Exactly. Gratis, gratis, gratis. The Discovery Center at Rocky Beach. It's free.
All right, let's send you on your way if you plan on attending the Spirit of America services today at 11 a.m. at the Memorial at Riverside Park in Cashmere. We were thinking you may need some sunblock when we recorded the interview. Maybe an umbrella or a sweater may be in order. It is 61 degrees with light rain here in the Wenatchee Valley, so it's finally going to start feeling a little bit like autumn, at least for a few days. Summer's going to make a brief return over the weekend. Let's get to it in detail from the National Weather Service. Quite a bit of clouds today. We will see some sun breaks here and there, but we're also going to see some light rain. Intermittent light rain. Again, the farther north you go, the more rain you're going to get, but nobody's going to get a lot of rain. Don't build an ark. That's not going to be necessary, but we could use the wet stuff. 74 our high today. That is below normal. Our normal high is 79. So this long streak of 12 consecutive days with our afternoon high above normal comes to an end today. There's, by the way, a slight chance of some pop-up thunderstorms, but probably not here in the valley. Tonight, the wind will be picking up. It'll be a little breezy. It'll also clear the skies out, scour out the clouds. 53 for the overnight low. Lots of sunshine on Thursday. Quite a bit of it. High of 76, but breezy as the tail end of this marine air pushes out of here. So we're still going to have quite a bit of wind Thursday and Thursday night. 52 for the overnight low. Then we calm down and no complaints at all for the weekend. 80 degrees with lots of sunshine on Friday. Slightly cooler, but not much on Saturday. Overnight lows getting a little chillier, but a very nice weekend. And then we're going to be pretty cool and pretty wet most of next week. But that's next week. Have yourself a great Wednesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.